Welcome to UCLA and to Royce Hall. I'm Kelly Wall, Assistant Dean for Student Achievement in the Division of Undergraduate Education. Thank you so much for coming together during these unprecedented times to celebrate the graduates of the class of 2021. We are honoring the achievements of the bachelor's and master's degree recipients from the College of Letters and Science, the UCLA International Institute, the Samueli School of Engineering, the Herb Alpert School of Music, and the School of Theater, Film, and Television. Before we begin, the leadership of these ceremonies at UCLA acknowledges our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples. I want to remind everyone how much we want this event to be a success. For that to happen, we must observe several safety precautions. I can see that wherever possible, you're seated at a distance from people outside of your household. Very good. I can see that everyone is wearing a mask correctly, with it covering both their nose and mouth. Your mask must remain in place every moment you're inside this beautiful building. Now, this is an unusual one. I ask that you avoid making any loud sounds that would ordinarily come out of your nose or mouth. We weren't allowed to include singing as part of this event because of COVID rules, so please keep in mind why. Most important of all, I ask you to think about how proud you are of your graduate here with us today, and how much that graduate wants you healthy and safe and a part of their life for a very long time. So please sit apart from each other, keep your mask on, and avoid yelling, singing, or other potentially hazardous vocalizing. Clapping, however, is strongly encouraged. Please turn off your cell phones at this time, or at least be sure that they're on vibrate. We encourage you to take photos or videos from your seats. Please do not stand in the aisles because we cannot block them during the ceremony. Family and friends of our graduates, I am very proud to present the class of 2021. It is my pleasure to introduce the Dean of Humanities, David Schaberg.
Thank you, Kelly. Families, friends, faculty, and staff who've come together to celebrate, I'm honored to address these outstanding graduates of the class of 2021. I want you to know how proud I am to be here at this recognition of your achievement. Your victories are the victories of your community and of our community. Such accomplishments are the product of time and energy and dedication and passion. What you've committed to your education has brought you to this extraordinary moment, and I'm grateful to be able to share it with you. You are graduates from the #1 public university in the United States. A round of applause, I think. Our auditorium today is not quite full of your fans, but your fans are very well represented here. And trust me, this will not be the last time you hear a round of applause because of the extraordinary thing you've accomplished. I want you to try to take this moment as an antidote. It's a moment of joy that can help you in future as you face the kinds of challenges of life that all of us face. Every one of us knows that feeling of being alone, moments of doubt, moments of silence, when we really do need to hear the sound of encouragement. I see each of you in the future remembering to support those among us who need to be lifted up by the power of your kind words or praise, perhaps at a moment when you yourself least feel that you have those things to give. So let today, this occasion, serve as a reminder of how you have the power to summon your collective strength to raise everyone higher. Act on the impulse to enrich the lives of those around you. Be an agent for positive change. Make the world a better place. We need you to make this world better. Take pride in your lifelong journey of lifting. For when we reach out to others, our hearts become stronger by becoming more open and more compassionate. Now, as much as we might want everything to work out perfectly, there will be times when an obstacle blocks our path. Something or someone, perhaps the strangest person or idea or thing, will obstruct your progress toward some important goal that you've set for yourself. It's part of life. You've experienced this situation before. Have you ever? Remember, you overcame the challenge of learning remotely at UCLA. And who saw that coming, along with a global pandemic? You persisted when facing the distractions of home life and choppy internet connections for your Zoom classroom. The tenacity you showed under those circumstances makes me confident in your ability to persevere no matter what happens. You'll be able to step back if you need to and reflect on your values and on what matters most to you. You'll consider why and how you persisted and why you're still here today. And this knowledge and these skills that you developed at UCLA will empower you to soar in the months and the years ahead. You'll create something new, something that hasn't been seen or heard before. And there'll be positive change and hope. I'm confident of that. I ask you to lead the transformation that our world needs by taking your UCLA education and becoming mentors. Mentorship is a generosity of spirit that brings everyone forward, both those who receive it and those who offer it to others. Be the mentors we need in our community, the mentors who build bridges for, rather than walls against, those who may be struggling to cross over. You give yourself a precious reward when you give others advice and support as a valued mentor. It feels wonderful. I encourage you to gravitate to that feeling whenever you can. Never be shy about turning to someone who's gone ahead and made it back, someone who can tell you what might be just beyond the horizon, because even mentors need mentors. I'm grateful for all of the professors, advisors, staff, fellow students, family, and friends who brought each of you here today, because you needed them on your journey, and we needed them to be there for you as well. Let's pause for a moment and thank those people, both the ones who are with us here today and also the ones who are not. Let's revel in joy and gratitude to them. After you leave UCLA, look for the people in your life who help to make you a better version of yourself. Surround yourself with the people who persuade you not to linger in self-doubt. The mentors, the colleagues, and the friends you seek in the years to come will help you remember who you are and inspire you to be who you want to be. This moment that we're sharing right now fulfills your hours of sacrifice, hours when it would have been easier not to push yourself so hard. This moment is the evidence that you've completed the most difficult courses you needed to take, and in the end, nothing defeated you. You belong at UCLA, and you make UCLA an acclaimed institution because of your strength, your voice, your intelligence, and your determination to succeed. Once this day has passed, I ask you to imagine it every now and then. Savor the moment, this stage, the seat you're in, the mask you're wearing, the beautiful people who are with us here today, in both body and in spirit, the people who love you. Carry the moment with you. Touch on it in your mind and in your heart when you need it the most. Give yourself the chance to live in this moment again completely. May this moment give you strength when you need it the most. Today is a life story highlight for you, and I ask each of you to share your personal narrative with those who need to hear it from you. Practice a genuine compassion for yourself, and at the same time, extend that compassion to a world that might not entirely understand you or your story. Be patient about that. Know that those who offer the most are often misunderstood, because the gifts that they bear defy the odds. Know that whatever you're doing, wherever you are, the people around you will be inspired by you to grow and to change, and they will recognize you because of who you are and all that you've gained from your experience as a Bruin. Every day ahead of you might not be perfect, but enough of them will be as perfect as they need to be, because each one comes with the promise of a tomorrow. And I'm confident that you'll make our tomorrow remarkable. I celebrate with great joy the opportunity to share this moment with you. And so, class of 2021, congratulations, and go Bruins! Now it's my pleasure to introduce Amanda McAlpin. She's a double Bruin who received her Master of Social Science as a member of the class of 2021. I've also had the pleasure of knowing Amanda for several years and working with her as a wonderful companion, friend, and wonderful colleague. Please welcome Amanda.
Throughout the last year of virtual learning, I'm positive the majority of my presentations were interrupted by my pandemic pet. So if y'all can make some cat noises, I feel like that might help a little bit up here. It's kind of strange not having somebody like knock my speech off the lectern, you know, those kinds of things. None of us could have dreamt when we applied to our programs that the world would be dramatically and irrevocably changed. As I worked on my application materials pre-pandemic, I reflected on the experiences that led me to consider this new path I was about to embark upon. In conversations with colleagues and friends, I received thoughtful feedback on the direction I wanted my life to go and how my program felt like the natural next step. But where I am today wasn't the most natural path for me. I come from a lower income family. I'm the first member of my family to go to college. I also knew I would be an older student by comparison, later learning that I was in fact the oldest in my program. I just kept thinking, how does an autistic punk rock kid from the middle of nowhere end up applying to a master's program at UCLA? I really struggled with high school and now was trying to become a double Bruin in addition to being a long-term staff member. Younger me wouldn't believe where I am now. Fast forward, and all of California goes into shutdown. The opening dates moved and moved again, and we all tried to adjust being comfortable with Zoom and leading our lives remotely. Because I work on campus, the information we were receiving made me think we wouldn't be back in person before the end of the school year, and I made peace with that. But the reality is, my cohort and I shared the same core classes, and many of us never met face to face, as if we totally missed out on an important aspect of our education, being together. Our time in school was completely unlike any class before us, but I think this actually gives us an advantage. We learned to be patient and kind with our professors, some of whom were less than tech savvy. We gave them the grace to figure out virtual learning. We learned how to come together as a cohesive team, even though we'd never met face to face. We created big projects for which we had to be creative in finding our sources. We learned about and related to each other's struggles, but also found time to laugh and find hope together, all while being physically distant, sometimes across the planet. These are things unique to our experience. We worked our tails off during the pandemic, while far too many have lost their lives, their loved ones, and many their livelihoods. Though it feels wrong to celebrate, it would be even more wrong to not acknowledge what we've lived through and accomplished despite the challenges. While our hearts ache, we must also feel pride in our perseverance. Pride in the fact that as the world changed around us, we focused on learning and becoming hopefully better versions of ourselves. And we must take that pride that we are able to do hard things, all while living through one of the most difficult times to face many generations before us. So though it may feel wrong to celebrate with you all, especially with everything still so nebulous, we must. For our community members who lost their battles, we must. This is a time to be proud of how hard we worked, proud of the positive changes we will make as we take what we've learned and move forward, proud of our Bruin family. Wear that pride like the badge of honor it truly is. We are the pandemic graduates. We are class of 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. When you became Bruins, one of your rites of passage was to uphold our true Bruin values of respect, accountability, integrity, service, and excellence. As alumni, you're Bruins for life, and you remain an important part of our extended community. I now want to share with you UCLA's Principles of Community, which are published with our mission statement. I'll read several of these principles to you, and then I'll ask you to make a pledge with me to uphold them as you join other communities around us, communities that will find their greatest success because you, as a Bruin, are a part of them. I quote, "We believe that diversity is critical to maintaining excellence in all of our endeavors. We seek to foster open-mindedness, understanding, compassion, and inclusiveness among individuals and in groups. We're committed to ensuring freedom of expression and dialogue in a respectful and civil manner on the spectrum of views held by our varied and diverse campus communities. We acknowledge that modern societies carry historical and divisive biases, and we seek to promote awareness and understanding through education and research, and to mediate and resolve conflicts that arise from these biases in our communities." Silently, please join me in this pledge. We will commit together to uphold these principles of community in Westwood and in our communities beyond. Thank you. Would the graduates please stand and begin your approach to the stage? Graduates, we recognize you today for your individual achievements, and we present you as UCLA graduates to your families and friends. Our master's degree recipients will be followed by our bachelor's degree recipients. The graduates will cross the stage and pause for a photo. You'll remember that before the ceremony, we were able to take your photographs on the terrace outside without your masks, so please leave your mask on the entire time you're on stage. May our recognition of your accomplishments begin.
Amanda Dawn McAlpin. Christy Land. Laura Rosen. Ladies and gentlemen, your UCLA class of 2021.
Thank you all. In the spring of 2021, the Chancellor conferred your degrees, and at this time I want to revisit that moment with an acknowledgement of his words. More than anything, the Chancellor hoped that your experience at UCLA has opened up some windows on the world for you and leaves you yearning to know more. Your experience at UCLA is just the beginning of a life of continuing discovery, and the skills you've acquired here, in and outside the classroom, will serve you well in this rapidly changing world. When we gathered here today, perhaps your tassel was on the left, which is correct. If it isn't, please take this opportunity to turn your tassel, if you have one, while we listen to UCLA's alma mater, Hail to the Hills of Westwood. We're so very proud of your class of 2021. Please stand and be acknowledged by your family and friends. Please be seated. Guests, please remember that you must remain seated until the graduates have exited Royce Hall. Family and friends, we're grateful that you joined us today and that you've played such important roles in the success of our graduates. I'll leave you with the words of John Wooden. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It's courage that counts. Congratulations, and go Bruins.